So if there's no other questions, let's go into the subject of today, which is the global significance of Western art music. Now, I had to explain to a little kid just yesterday or the day before. Oh, I was Ambrose. No, it wasn't Ambrose. I was explaining to a little kid what Western is. The fact is that the United States is a European country. It was discovered by an Italian, and it was settled by Spaniards and English and French up north, and our musical tradition comes from Europe. The world is sort of, as far as music goes, the world is sort of divided into halves. We have from Greece west is Western music, and from the Holy Land, Jordan, Israel, east is Oriental music. And of those two types of music, Western art music has come to dominate the entire world, and I'll be more specific about that as we go on. But before we get specific about the history of it, let's talk a little bit about the right and left brain paradox. I'm sure those of you who have taken classes with me before have heard this many times. How many hands do you have?
Two.
Two. How many eyes do you have?
Two.
Two. How many feet do you have?
Two.
How many nostrils do you have?
Two.
How many brains do you have?
Two.
You have two brains. That's really two brains. They're divided right down the middle, and they do very different things. Maybe not very different things, but they do different things. The left brain is responsible for, now can you see this little arrow? Yeah, there you go. The left brain is responsible for, or is able to perceive and understand small things, details, things like words, things like math, very small things. The left brain is good at taking things apart. The word analytical means to take apart. The left brain is able to follow systems. It's able to sequential understanding is natural to the left brain, and that of course includes things like logical reasoning. The right brain is a lot better at seeing the big picture. I think of it as like a telescope. If you have a telescope and you've got it focused on some small thing, you can see the small thing very well, but you can't see the big picture. Now, if you back up that telescope and look at the big picture, you can see a lot more, but you can't see things very closely. That's basically what the left and right brain are like. The left brain is good at seeing a small, not very big picture, and the right brain is good at seeing a very big, not very detailed picture. So that includes things like emotional responses. The word synthetic doesn't mean fake. It means able to put things together. The left brain, you see, is able to take things apart. The right brain is good at putting things together. The left brain is good at understanding things in sequence. The right brain is much better at understanding bits of information which may not have any apparent connection with each other, but which can have a sort of larger than logical relationship to each other. And of course, the right brain is also good. That leads very naturally into the idea of irrationality. So, which of these two brains then you think is most likely processing music?
The left.
It is generally understood that artistic responses, in particular music responses, are processed by the right brain. If you attach electrodes to a non-musician's brain and play music, you'll get a lot of right brain activity. Music is intuitive, it's irrational, it's emotional, it's, However, if you attach an electrode to a trained musician's brain, you get a lot of left brain activity, because musicians have been taught to take these intuitive, sort of vague, emotional type responses and attach specific names to them. And once something has a name attached to it, it becomes a verbal structure. And of course, the left brain is it good at understanding verbal structures. So what we're going to be doing in this class is, to a certain extent, we're going to be destroying your intuitive understanding of music, because we're going to get more left brain about it. Now, have no fear. Those of you, there may be some people who object to this image, but I have a little bunny here. Hello? Why did it do that? You see the bunny? We have a bunny here. The bunny has nice, floppy, sweet, white ears. Rip the ears off the bunny. Bunny has a nice nose. Tear his head off. Tear his legs apart. Now we have a dead bunny, right? We have little pieces of a dead bunny. But our experience of the bunny is much more literal now, isn't it? Because we can see little pieces of it. The magic of it is that you can put the bunny back together, it comes back to life, and not only is it the same sweet, lovely, soft, cuddly bunny it was before, but we have an in-depth appreciation of the bunny. We understand the bunny better having taken it apart than if we hadn't taken it apart. So if you have the courage to take apart something that you love, when you put it back together, your love for it will only be deeper, I guarantee it. Now, going on. Here is a cute picture I found on the internet explaining the left and right brain. The left, you see, is a bunch of little computer guys sitting in boxes, understanding things on their computer tape. And the right brain has hippies meditating and sleeping on flowers and flying kites and stuff. It's notice that the left brain is in black and white, and the right brain is in living color. Also notice that there are bridges between the two brains. You see this little guy here? He's about to take a trip into the left brain, and these people here are escaping their cubicles and coming into the right brain. One of the reasons that music is taught in the public schools, when it is taught in the public schools, is because it's well understood, and Jun Ho Lee's mother understood this very well when she made him take piano lessons. Music is one of the ways, because it's so much right brain activity and also at the same time a left brain activity, it calls on more of the whole brain to work than just about anything else you can do. And therefore, everybody has heard of the Mozart effect. Anybody not heard of the Mozart effect? I'll briefly summarize it. They did an experiment, so it must be 20 years ago now, I don't know. People were getting ready to take a math test. And they played Mozart for half of the people right before they took the math test, and didn't play music for anybody before they took the math test. And repeatedly they did this experiment, and repeatedly the people who heard Mozart before they took the math test did better. Somehow stimulating the brain in the way that music stimulates it makes your brain more active, and actually makes the two halves of the brain communicate with each other in ways that are specific to music. And so I always say that music makes you smarter. I mean, look at me. Now, since this class could